I mean, this is great because we've covered a lot of stuff that the general population and our non-veterinary friends can get into. And you've blown my mind with this regenerative farming. That's just, oh my God, I want to be a part of that. That's just fantastic, Laura. I appreciate you sharing that. But some of a fair proportion of our audience are working in veterinary medicine. They're in small animal practice, or they're in practice every day. And I'm wondering, is there anything you've talked about Vet Sustain? Can we explore Vet Sustain?
Yeah.
And what we can do, what a nurse can do on Monday morning, what a vet can do Monday lunchtime.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting the feeling here. One of my big buzz things. I'm now a grandfather. I know it's hard to believe, but I am now a grandfather.
At the age of 20, my goodness.
I know, well, there you go.
People who are listening to this program, Mike, in his first flush of youth, is now a grandfather. It's incredible what cryogenics can do. Sorry, do carry on.
Thank you, Julian.
You're welcome.
Well, I've personally, I share a personal thing with you. I've always been petrified about what sort of planet I'm leaving behind for my children. And now I'm a grandfather.
Yeah.
And that just ups the ante exponentially, because, you know, I can see that before this planet gets too hot, I'm going to be off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody. You know, I've had my fun. I've driven the big engines. I've traveled all over the world. I've documented the demise of the polar bear. It saddens me. I had those chances. Sorry, you guys, you kids aren't going to get that.
You'll pick up the tab. Yeah.
You've got to pick up the tab. But now I've got a whole other generation. And
how old is your youngest grandchild, just out of interest?
My youngest grandchild is 3 months old.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, congratulations. It is scary, and that's this is when the pivotal moment for me happened as well, when I had my daughter, and 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and it's seeing her lifetime stretch out before you, far beyond your own, and realizing what sort of legacy we were leaving, and how we were kind of dragging our heels, thinking, it'll be all right, and something will happen, you know. And the truth is, it can't be left to one individual group. It can't be left to a single government. You know, it's got to be this groundswell, and I think there has been, in the last 18 months, certainly a zeitgeist, thanks to the likes of Greta Thunberg and Extinction Rebellion, that have kind of put a rocket up our backsides in lots of ways. And that's when Vet Sustain also came along too. And David Attenborough, let's not forget good old David. He's incredible, and many others at grassroots level as well. Like it's just, people have been like, yeah, guys, we've been talking about this for a while, and now you're all jumping on the bandwagon with your Instagram accounts, and you know, there's people that are just that are doing incredible work. So and now I'm a relative newcomer to this, but just as passionate, and I think now's the time for all of us to start really shaping up, and veterinary practices are a great place to start that. So if vets are not quite sure how to knit together their own climate activism in their own private lives and their veterinary work, because it is a bit like, how can I make this happen with a veterinary practice and maybe a management team that's yet to get on this bandwagon, and how do I well, Vet Sustain's trying to make that easier to open those conversations. And I'm glad you asked, because this Friday, presumably this will go out well after the publication of our Greener Veterinary Practice Checklist, but we have a very practical guide to how a veterinary practice can adopt more sustainable practices and principles amongst their team, empowering everybody in the team, and starting to take meaningful steps. And it's kind of UK based, I'd say, with some practical independent links to resources that we recommend, but certainly can be adopted and kind of repurposed for vets and vet practices in different countries. So we'll talk. Can we take a step? Like.
Can we take a step back on this then, Laura?
Yeah.
So this is an initiative put out by Vet Sustain.
Yeah.
And you called it the
is the Greener Veterinary Practice Checklist. And yeah, maybe I should just quickly explain Vet Sustain, because we're a collective.
Please do.
Yeah, we're a collective of volunteers. Hopefully, soon to be more than that, if we can get going and you know, with funding and things. But basically, we're a collective of veterinary surgeons and members of the wider veterinary community that intend to enable and inspire veterinary professionals, and by that we mean vets, vet nurses, vet technicians, practice managers, all members of the vet-led team really, and wider than that still. But yeah, all members of the vet-led team to kind of drive change towards a more sustainable future for future generations, but also obviously for ourselves. And this is for the benefit of the animals under our care, the animals beyond our care, and all of the rest of sort of the natural world as well. So our big issues that we are tackling, the big four, if you like, would be climate change, biodiversity loss, public health issues, very, very current, and animal welfare issues that are still entrenched mainly in our domestic species. So we've got a recognition that the Sustainable Development Goals and how veterinary professionals contribute to those SDGs are all inextricably linked, and we could never really extract climate change from that conversation as a single issue. For us, it's all linked, and therefore we have to tackle them all. We're not saying that we're going to, of course, do it alone. It's all about trying to empower others to make changes. And we're also certainly acknowledging that there are loads of veterinary groups that are working on single issues, multiple issues, and making great strides. So certainly around sort of health and well-being and that sort of thing, around public health, around animal welfare. But would say that some of those groups are working in relative isolation on specific topics. And I think Vet Sustain has this opportunity to kind of span across multiple issues and highlight where they're linked, and where vets have a remarkable opportunity as kind of custodians of animal welfare, but also as interdisciplinary practitioners and researchers that understand One Health. And One Health, for your listeners that don't know, is the concept that the animal, human and environmental health are all linked, and you can't separate them. And that's, you know, never more true today, and again in COVID times. So it's really important that we start sort of actually putting these One Health principles into practice, and that's where Vet Sustain hopefully will be operating.
You've just linked environmental health into One Health.
Yeah,
I've got a feeling. I mean, call me naive or slow or some other insult that's appropriate. I don't really mind.
Not at all.
For me, One Health for a long time has been the animal-human health.
Yeah. I must admit, that's the first time I've heard of environment being brought in it, and it makes perfect sense.
Absolutely,
it's the whole biscuit there, isn't it?
Yeah, for us it's a triad, absolutely.
Right.
And so you can't.
Sorry, I should say other big crime syndicates do exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, mafia. Yeah.
Yakuza.
Yeah. Yakuza. We don't want to be. Yeah, we don't want to be singled out by one because we've mentioned another. Yeah,
exactly. The Isle of Wight posse.
Yeah.
We don't want to.
Well, they're just across the water for me.
Yeah, we can hear the rumblings some nights.
Oh, they'll be on the ferry. They'll be on the ferry to Portsmouth in no time. Knocking on the door. Anyway, God, jeez. Yeah, but
I do apologise. Sorry, Laura.
Come on, Laura. You've just brought.
Bring it back to sense.
Laura, you are blowing my mind tonight with great ideas, great things, actions, positive actions that most people will be unaware of that are going on.